The war caused the death of millions of people, mostly in Europe and the Middle East. The dead were composed of soldiers and civilians, who died from battle wounds, disease, starvation, and ethnic conflicts. 4 years of war killed a million troops from the British Empire, 1.5 million troops from the Austro-Hungary Empire, 1.7 million French troops, 1.7 million Russians, and 2 million German troops. The war left a legacy of bitterness that contributed to World War II 21 years later. It was the first war to use airplanes, tanks, long-range artillery, submarines, and the introduction of new and terrible weapons of mass destruction, such as poison gas and air bombardment. The financial cost of the Great War was estimated to have been about $400 billion. The collapse of this image had left a deep scar on the European physique, optimism replaced by a deep pessimism. This fear was not only based on physical destruction. The confidence and optimism of Europeans about their levels of education, progress, and an ever-improving world had been shattered. The monarchy was out, republicanism was in. Russia in 1970, Austria-Hungary and Germany in 1918, and in Turkey in 1922. Nationalism triumphed to a great extent. The German, the Austro-Hungary, the Turkish, and the Russian empires were shattered. On the ruins, new national states were built, which were founded on the principle of self-determination of the people as advocated by President Woodrow Wilson. The end of the war caused serious problems, such as large-scale unemployment and also a disruption of normal industrial and economic life. This created a favorable atmosphere for the growth of leftist and other parties, such as socialist, communist, fascist, and Nazi parties, which gained power in Europe. It also led to the birth of communism in Russia and authoritarian dictatorships in Italy, Germany, Spain, and Turkey. Revolutionary political ideology had burst onto the scene through the Bolshevik Revolution. This was not merely a political revolution, but a philosophical as well. Bolsheviks challenged the very pillars of Western society: religion, property, family, democracy, and individualism. What was worse, it was threatening to spread and engulf Europe in a tide of revolutionary violence and anarchy. The social structure of Western society had been transformed. Women in Western countries had received the vote, and their role in the war had guaranteed that they could continue to demand changes to social and economic structure that could satisfy their demands for equal treatment. This was the first mass media war in which government unleashed masses of propaganda to raise the anger, revenge, vilification of the enemy were all widely expressed sentiments used to maintain the flow of recruits to the killing fields. The Allied powers set up reparation commission to estimate the total amount of reparations to be made by Germany. German criminals were to be tried and punished by military tribunals of the Allied powers. World War I led to the emergence of great powers in Europe, America, and the Far East. Great Britain proved to be leading maritime and colonial power on earth. France came to be regarded as a great military power in Europe. Japan enhanced its power and prestige in the Far East at the coast of China and Russia. Finally, the USA emerged from the Great War as a great world power. The Treaty of Versailles was too harsh on Germany. It was fully deprived of her colonies and was totally disarmed by the treaty. She had to pay a crushing war indemnity. It was natural, then, that the Germans grew up on the cult of revenge under the leadership of Adolf Hitler, who was mainly responsible for World War II.